I'm Estelle Thomson, your mistress of radiance, and this is Walk With Me in Butterfly Alley, a Chic West podcast revival. This is a 10-minute audio series about living a meaningful, sparkly life. One walk, one idea, one story. In each 10 minutes mini episode, I'll share with you what I've been thinking about, what life is teaching me, and maybe a question for your own reflection. So grab a coffee, lace up your shoes, or simply settle in. Let's take a walk together, unfiltered. Welcome to Butterfly Alley. Hold up! Before we begin, the planner is back for its 8th year. Keep an eye out for my newest creation, the Guide to a Magic Life 2027 Planner, the Things That Fly edition, arriving soon. Inspired by butterflies, birds, bees, migration, and transformation, this planner is a companion for women navigating change, trusting their wings, and becoming who they are meant to be. Like all good things in nature, the planner is seasonal and available in limited quantities. If you've been thinking about journeying with me through 2027, you'll want to keep watch for its release in early September. You can find all of my paper goods, paintings, and creative offerings at estelethomson.com under shop. Now back to our walk. I've been reflecting a lot on embodiment, sensuality, and desires in May. Yeah, I think it was May. We studied Bridget, a Guide to a Magic Life community. That's my women's circle. And we could have taken so many angles on her, but we were deep in embodiment and soma, how to relate with our bodies, and sensuality, which is really the core of Tantra, goddess work, to smell your life, to look at your life, to hear your life, like all your senses. Like in sensuality, there is the word senses. And then desires. And we talked a bit about desire in May, but really we went really deep in the last June Sunday call with me. Every Sunday we have a 90-minute call with me. And I went deep with desires. And because of that call, I was remembering one of my best story, really. So it's a story time, walk with me in Butterfly Alley. But I was trying to recall times in my life when I really had to ask myself, what do I want? Like, should be a simple enough question, but what do I want? This is not something we were taught as little girls. Like, my desires had no place here. Like, I was never told that my desires were important. And that is such a tragedy. What we desire has a place here. And it's such a relearning of your instinctual life, you know? And for me, that conundrum really happened. Tommy had just passed away, but my son Isaiah was 3 years old at the time, I believe, 3 or 4, maybe even. And I was invited to be part of a yoga residency. There was a girl from Nova Scotia that owned a yoga studio in France. Super random, I know. And she needed French yoga teachers. So through the grapevine, it all led back to me. Somebody told her that she should reach out to Estelle because she's French speaking. And so Julia asked me the first year to go, and she was inviting me 2 weeks in France. I had some place to stay. I just had to teach yoga classes in France. And basically, like I wanted to go, but I didn't go that year. And it's not that Scott didn't want me to go. Like, he just didn't know that that was like important to me. Like he couldn't understand where it was coming from. And so that whole year, so I didn't go that first year, and I thought I'd lost my chance. Everything was done. And luckily she asked me again the next year. And by then we had tons of conversations, Scott and I, and I had to express, and that's also very goddess Bridget, is that she loves something and she doesn't keep that thing veiled. She actually expresses what she loves by speech or by singing or by painting or by making mountains and rivers. Like she's literally like creates the world with her desires and her expressions. And so the next year I got to go. It's interesting because it's not like I thought that was like the biggest thing, like this great permission that I was giving myself. Remember, Scott did not give me permission. Like I had to allow myself like stop wanting other people to give you permission. This will never ever happen. Like I gave myself permission. I allowed myself to go to that trip. I just had to share it with him that was important to me, right? And so here I go. So, look simple, right? A woman wanting to attend a yoga teacher residency in France, but yet inside me, there's something so much deeper happening. I'll always remember this. The first morning I got to France, I went into a bakery, and again, like the senses, right? Like smelling everything and looking at the beautiful pastry. And I stood there and I realized I had no clue what I wanted. Do I want a croissant? Do I want a pain au chocolat? Do I want an eclair? Like, I didn't know. And for the first time, I had been so deep in like motherhood and always everything was out, 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 right? Tending to my home, organizing the rhythms of our daily lives, supporting my yoga. I was still teaching at the time. So my to, being a wife and holding so much together, everything always out, 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 never in, in, in. And a simple thing to decide what I wanted to eat. That's pretty basic, right? And I didn't know. And I still remember this moment. It's almost like it was always like before the croissant that broke my heart, and then after the croissant that broke my heart. And we carry such a complicated relationship with desires, especially all of us as women, but especially mothers, and also us that are sensitive and highly functional. And, I've been so praised by how much I could hold in my life. And, I became so attuned to what everybody needed, like in terms of schedules and appetites and comforts, that like my nervous system had been shaped around others' care and how I could be useful to them, and like never to me. And so this simple thing, what do I want? Do I want a croissant or pain au chocolat, became this like monumental decision and realization. Like I didn't know what I wanted. And I also realized just how long it had been since my desires existed free from scanning a room for everyone else's first. And my attention had become so relational, so outward facing, that even choosing, I thought like it was like an emotional thing. And it had taken me the courage to extrapolate myself out of my household. There was no choice here. You know, I was left with myself. And so for me, solo travels and even retreats, they offer something so much far deeper than like rest. Yes, sure, I got rest when I went there and just had to teach her and frolic the French street. But you know what?
it gave me, I finally could hear myself again, Estelle again, and my desires. I could hear my own voice. I could remember the pace that my body enjoys life. Like I'm a creature of leisure. I love slow mornings. I love dressing nice. And, France is so beautiful there. So it kind of like really reconnected me to like beauty and flowers and moving my body, like yoga and dance, and teaching yoga and dance, and awakening myself to like goddesses. And there's so much creativity in France, don't even get me started. But like that trip was really reclaiming the feeling of inhabiting my own life from an inside place. So do you want to know the answer? My favorite pastry is a pain au chocolat, and I love it warmed up just a little bit. I love a latte. If you have almond milk, that'd be great, with maybe a little sugar, but not necessarily, and really, really hot. See how specific I've become with what I love and what I desire? And you bet I'm gonna I'm gonna make some really cringe sound when I eat them. And so, I hope you get to land fully inside yourself, whether that be through traveling, but it's a simple and primitive way, to just, it is primitive to ask yourself, what do I want? And stop like outrunning our own desires, and instead to connect with your spark, um, to connect with that she that is, full of thunder and rumbles. That trip in France changed something so fundamental inside me, so fundamental, and it propelled so much more in terms of my destiny, and what and my gifts, and being inside my gifts and expressing my gifts and sharing that with the world. So our question today, you won't be surprised. What do you want? What do you want? Start with the basics. Love you. Bye.